morning. Welcome, my fellow time travelers. We have made it an hour into the future. Yes, welcome to St. Paul's Universalist Church. Am I not on?
Oh, because there's a reason you're not on.
Oh, nothing.
There we go. Yes, as I was saying, welcome, fellow time travelers. The pulpit may not be the right place for this, but I have a confession. I need to break up with winter. Every November, December, I think, let's give this relationship another go, but she's cold, high maintenance, and quite honestly, it's March, getting pretty clingy. Anyway, it is good to be here among you today. I didn't see any announcements in the back, but I kind of made it here just in time to set up. Are there any announcements that anyone would like to share with the congregation? I think there's a concert this afternoon, right? Oneida Valley Chorale, or Oneida Chorale. I don't. There is no Oneida Valley, right? No, the Oneida Chorale, Canastota, 4 p.m. Yes. Any other announcements? All right, let us proceed to our choir call to worship.
We are gathered in the Spirit, through our bodies apart, filled with joy and touched with wonder, separate hands but mingled hearts, giving thanks and singing praises for the love that calls us on from our many different places. We are gathered into one.
I open our service this morning with these words of Rosabeth Moss Cantor, who said that a vision is not just a picture of what could be, it is an appeal to our better selves, a call to become something more. If you like the hymn, Be Thou My Vision, you have come to the right place today. Mark will be sharing several renditions of that well-known Irish song, and I'll be talking later in the service about vision in general. Please join me as we open with the lighting of our chalice. May this flame, symbol of transformation since time began, fire our curiosity, strengthen our wills, and sustain our courage. Our opening song is number 38.
Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first word. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for the springing fresh from the word. Sweet the rains will fall, somewhere from heaven, like the first dew fall on the first grass. Praise for the sweetness of the wet garden, strong in completeness, spread God's sweetness. Mine is the sunlight
doctrine of this church. The quest of truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with one another and with our God.
May there always be work for your hands to do. May your purse always hold a coin or two. May the sun always shine on your window pane. May the rainbow be certain to follow each rain. May the hand of a friend always be near you. May God fill your heart with gladness and cheer. May the hand of a friend always be near you. May God fill your heart with gladness to cheer you. Keep this wish safe in your heart, even though we may be apart. Sing this song and they will remind you. Someone said to this friendship rich, may there always be work for your hands to do. May your purse always hold a coin or two. May the sun always shine on the window pane. The rainbow be certain to follow each rain. May the hand of a friend always be near you. May God fill your heart with gladness to cheer you. May the hand of a friend always be near you. May God fill your heart with gladness to cheer you.
We're now at the time of the service where we share joys, sorrows, and concerns. Got a couple in our household. This is a candle of concern. Dino Roberti is a dear friend of my wife's family. Lost his wife about 6 months ago, and is not doing well himself. Diabetes-related conditions, some dementia, had to be rushed to the hospital where they found a mass on his brain. So thoughts and prayers for Dino would be appreciated. This is a candle of joy. A few weeks ago I announced that Mackenzie was interviewing for potential acceptance into the PhD program. I was thinking if we heard anything it'd be April or May. We heard this week. He is getting a full ride for a PhD in biology with a concentration in neurobiology. So his hard work and any others?
This is a joy. I'm very close to moving downstairs in my house here in town, and my oldest granddaughter, Eli, is gonna move upstairs into my apartment, coming from Michigan with her girlfriend, so I'm very excited.
We light a final candle for any joys, sorrows, or concerns that go unspoken but remain in our hearts and mind. And we will now give and receive the morning offering to support the work, the wonder, and the witness of this community. I invite you to join me in a time of prayerful meditation with these words of Andrew Hill. Out of a troubled world of expediency and selfish strife, we come to this place set apart for the renewal of vision. Great unity beyond all differences. Should our lives be narrowed by personal sorrow or tragedy, envision us with a sense of worth. Should we be weary of the diminishing purposes of community and the persistence of global conflicts, envision us with your larger purpose. Should we feel lost upon Earth's lonely cosmic shore, envision us with joy and with wonder. Uphold us when we are weak, embrace us when we are broken. Transform us when we are partial. Restore to us your great unity, that we in the green earth and the cosmic law may become as one. Great unity, bless us now in this moment of worship with your vision. Amen. Let us now share a moment of silence where we listen to the wisdom of our hearts and minds. And our next song is number 20. Be Thou My Vision is a hymn with Irish origins, dating back to somewhere between the 6th and 11th centuries. Historians aren't exactly sure when it was written, but it's an old hymn, beloved by many. In preparing for this talk, I read that it is one of the most popular hymns in the British Isles, and if memory serves, it's one of Mark's favorite hymns as well. Yes, I remember that from the days when it was just Mark and I recording for COVID. Anyway, this being the Sunday before St. Patrick's Day, seemed as good a time as any to include this music and to reflect upon vision. And rather do an analysis of the song, I wanted to talk today in broader terms about the idea of vision and what it means to have a vision on a variety of levels. But it helps to kind of have a same page to operate on. So when I'm talking about vision, I'm talking about thinking or planning for the future with imagination and wisdom, a dream to make into a reality. And I'd like to talk about vision in terms of the past, the present, and the future. And I realize that may seem paradoxical since I just defined it as being in terms of the future, but bear with me. We are here, in part, because of the fulfillment of the vision of those in the past. When the Roman Empire adopted Christianity, a great council gathered in the city of Nicaea, which is today part of the country of Turkey. Their charge was to determine what was official doctrine. One of the ideas put forth by a man named Origen was that of universal salvation. Origen reasoned that the notion of eternal damnation was incompatible with that of a loving God who had sacrificed his Son for the sins of humankind. That doctrine was ultimately rejected by the council. Some thought a belief in universal salvation would lead to immorality. After all, what motivation was there to act morally if you weren't afraid of going to hell? But Origen and those universalists who followed him chose a vision that imagined that good behavior, that moral behavior came not out of fear of punishment, but rather out of a powerful appreciation for God's love and a calling to express and to share that love with others. And this vision was passed down through the centuries. And men like George de Benneville on the left and John Murray on the right brought it from Europe to this country. It's hard to imagine today, but Universalism was at one time the 5th largest Christian denomination in the United States. And the men and women who gathered here in 1851 in Little Falls carried on that Universalist vision, which gave rise to this church. And over the decades, that vision went on. It broadened to include acceptance of the teachings of all the world's religions, moving more and more toward a true and broader type of universalism. And we are the inheritors. We are the proof of their vision made real. We are the children of the vision imagined by Origen and de Benneville and Murray and other names that you could name that we could look up in our documented history down in the fellowship hall. Let that sink in for a moment. We are their inheritors. Yes, this congregation is not what it once was in size, something that can be said of many churches today. But we endure. And as we endure, and as long as that is true, the vision of those before us endures as well. And that brings me to the present. What vision do you have for yourselves? Where has your life come from, and where do you see it going? Do you see your inherent worth and dignity? Do you see your gifts? Do you see your love? And perhaps most importantly, do you share it? Not only with others, but with yourself. I'm a big believer that if you can't love yourself, it's hard to pass on to others. How many lives have been made better because of your influence? How many other lives, in turn, have been made better through those people that you influenced? How far have the ripples of your life gone? You probably can't even imagine the influence that your one life has had. And here's the thing, those ripples are still going. And as long as you are here, you can create more ripples of good, of kindness, of love. And those influences will almost certainly outlive you, just as the influence of those who came before. Think of all those people who helped to make you who you are today. It lives on in you. And that brings us to the future. The late poet Rabindranath Tagore said, "The one who plants trees, knowing that he will never sit in their shade, has at least started to understand the meaning of life." What vision do you have for the future? And by that I mean the time after your earthly life ends. What dreams do you have for your children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren? Or those who are younger that you feel a connection to, even if you are not related by blood? What legacy would you like to pass on to them? What kind of world would you like to help prepare to leave to them? In many ways, we stand on a precipice. Change, we are told, is one of the constants in life. But more and more, it seems to come at us faster and faster, socially, culturally, and especially technologically. It can be hard to keep up. And there are many, many unintended consequences of these changes. Just to name a few, our environment is suffering, and our reluctance to acknowledge our role in that only makes matters worse, coming dangerously close to the point of no return. Our technology has made it possible for humanity to be more connected than ever before. And yet, more often, it leads us into echo chambers, tribalism, and divisions. And fear of changes fosters growing intolerance, sometimes even hatred. And this is the world that the younger generations will inherit. Will we have the vision to help or to hinder them as the torch is passed to them? Will they have the benefit of our vision, or will they have to go it alone? We cannot summon the future, but we also cannot abandon our responsibility in fostering it. The world to come will in part be a result of our shared vision for those who come after us. And we may not think that we have much influence, but even small acts done with great love can have a cascade effect to make the future a brighter one. If we are indeed created in the image of God, however you choose to think of God, we owe it to those who came before, we owe it to ourselves, and especially to those who have come or will come after us to keep the vision, the dream of something better, alive, like a flame that is passed down through the ages. So as the old hymn goes, "Be thou my wisdom, and thou my true word. I ever with thee, and thou with me, God. Thou my soul's shelter, thou my high tower. Raise thou me heavenward, O power of my power." Amen. Our closing song is in the Teal Supplement, number 1066. Jung, who said your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. Please join me as we extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this chalice flame, daring to carry forward the vision of this free faith, that freedom, reason, and justice will one day prevail in this nation and across the earth.
The laws of religion, which like sunshine goes everywhere, its temple all space, its